The diner wasn't crowded, but the wrong men made it dangerous. 3 of them, leather jackets stretched over wide shoulders, swaggered into the half-lit roadside restaurant with the kind of confidence that comes from knowing no one would fight back. They were drunk, not sloppy drunk, but the kind of drunk that wanted to test the room. The waitress stiffened as they shoved into a booth, their laughter thick with threat. Sergeant Alex Rains noticed. He always noticed. He was sitting alone, coffee steaming in front of him, the corner booth offering a perfect view of the exits, of every movement inside the diner. Some habits never left a soldier even back home. His deployment had ended 6 months earlier, but his mind was still wired for danger, trained to predict it, to anticipate where it would hit. When the waitress walked past, one of the men grabbed her wrist. Art. She tried to pull away, muttering something, but he only laughed louder. His buddy slapped the table in amusement. Alex's jaw tightened. He'd been here before, different setting, same energy. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. Men using power because they thought no one would stop them. He wasn't supposed to get involved, not here, not stateside. His therapist had told him, "You're not in the war zone anymore. Learn to let others handle it." But then the waitress gasped as the man yanked her closer. Alex was moving before he knew it. "Let her go." His voice was calm, flat. It carried authority without volume. The men turned. The biggest one, dark beard, a neck like a tree trunk, grinned. "What's that, hero?" Alex stood, slow, deliberate. Not towering, not flexing, but steady. Years of army discipline lived in his stance. His brown eyes locked on the bearded man. "I said let her go." The man released the waitress, but only to rise himself, towering over Alex. He smelled like stale whiskey and motor oil. "This is none of your business." Alex didn't flinch. His pulse slowed, not sped up, combat breathing steadying his body. "It is now." The punch came fast. Civilian fast. To Alex it was slow as rain. He sidestepped, drove his palm into the man's ribs, pivoted, and sent him stumbling into the booth. The second thug lunged, swinging wild. Alex trapped his arm, twisted, and slammed him across the table. Plates shattered. The third hesitated, but only for a second. He reached for something tucked under his jacket. That was the moment. The restaurant went silent. The waitress froze. The smell of hot grease and coffee thickened in the air. Alex's eyes narrowed. The man pulled a knife. The old instincts flooded back, the war zone reflex. Alex grabbed a steel napkin holder from the counter, hurled it. It cracked against the man's wrist. The knife clattered to the floor. In 2 strides Alex was on him, pinning him down, knee in his chest. "Stay down," Alex said, his voice colder now. "I'm not asking." The man wheezed, but Alex's weight didn't move. Not until the waitress, shaking, whispered, "Please, just stop." He released the pressure and stepped back, keeping his eyes on all 3 until he was sure they wouldn't try again. The men cursed, scrambled, and finally stumbled out into the night. The diner exhaled. The waitress whispered, "Thank you." Alex just nodded and sat back down, picking up his coffee as if nothing had happened. His hands were steady, but inside he knew what this meant. It was still in him. The soldier. The war. It wasn't going anywhere. A soldier who can't go home. Later that night, driving the empty highway, Alex's mind replayed the moment with the knife. He should have walked away. Should have let the police handle it. That's what his commanding officer used to tell him. Don't escalate unless you have to. But he had escalated. He pulled over on the side of the road, resting his head against the steering wheel. His chest tightened. He could almost hear the rotors of a Black Hawk, smell the dust storms of Kandahar, feel the rifle sling against his shoulder. He wasn't in Afghanistan anymore. But part of him never left. Orders that never fade. The next morning his phone rang. Unknown number. He ignored it, but it rang again. "Rains?" he answered, voice still carrying that automatic crispness. "Sergeant Rains? This is Colonel Harris. You don't know me, but I know your record. Silver Star, 2 deployments. We need to talk." Alex stiffened. "I'm not active duty anymore, Colonel." "This isn't official Army business," Harris replied. "It's personal. I'll meet you at 1400 hours, Café Meridian, downtown." Click. Alex stared at the phone. The voice was controlled, urgent, and it carried weight. The kind of weight you didn't ignore. He told himself not to go. He told himself he wanted a quiet life, to leave it all behind. But deep down he knew he was already moving toward it. A call back to war. Café Meridian was crowded, the clinking of dishes mixing with the buzz of conversation. Harris was easy to spot, crew cut, hard eyes, posture that never forgot command. He looked more like a man still in battle than one retired. "You didn't have to come," Harris said when Alex slid into the booth. "Then why did you call me?" Alex asked. "Because we're losing something. And you're one of the few who knows how to fight without a map." Alex frowned. "You'll have to be clearer than that." Harris leaned in. "What you did last night at the diner, it wasn't an accident. I heard about it. I've been keeping tabs. You still have the instincts. And I've got a situation." Alex's gut twisted. He didn't like where this was going. What kind of situation? Soldiers being taken. Off-books missions. Black sites, foreign soil. Someone's cleaning house, rains. And they're targeting veterans. Alex's throat went dry. "Why tell me?" "Because you're already in it. Whether you know it or not. The shadow war begins." That night, Alex sat in his apartment, staring at his old duffel bag. Inside were things he promised himself he'd never touch again. Dog tags, combat boots, a weathered journal filled with scribbled notes from the front lines. He thought about Harris's words. Soldiers being taken. Veterans targeted. He thought about the men in the diner. Were they just drunk idiots, or was someone testing him? He thought about the knife. The way it caught the light before it fell. The war wasn't over. Not for him. The knock at his door came just after midnight. Alex froze. No one came to his door at that hour. Not unless. He grabbed the pistol from his drawer, moved silently toward the door, back pressed to the wall. Another knock. Louder. Then. A voice, calm, low, female. "Sergeant Rains. Open the door. We don't have much time." He tightened his grip on the gun. The war had just found him. The silence after the knock was the loudest thing Alex had heard in months. His pistol felt heavy in his hand, a weight that carried memory more than metal. He didn't move at first. Training told him hesitation could be fatal, but instinct told him this wasn't just some late-night drunk at the wrong door. The woman's voice came again, calmer than before. "Sergeant Rains, we need to move. They're already watching." Alex finally spoke, low and controlled. Step back from the door. There was the scrape of boots on the floor outside. Not one pair, two, maybe three. Alex's jaw tightened. "Keys on the floor. Slide them under," he ordered. Pause. Then a set of keys scraped against the wood, pushed into the crack. He glanced down, military issue tag on the keyring. Real. Not random. Alex cracked the door, pistol raised. The woman stood there, late 30s, compact build, black hair tied back, eyes that scanned like a soldier's. She wasn't nervous. She wasn't bluffing. Behind her stood two more men, one tall and wiry, the other solid and broad. None wore uniforms, but their posture gave them away. Military, or at least trained. "You've got 30 seconds to explain," Alex said, gun steady. The woman raised her hands slightly. "Lieutenant Commander Sarah Holt. Navy Intelligence. These are my men. You're in danger. They've already tagged you." "Tagged me?" "Watched. Marked. Your little diner fight? That wasn't random. Someone wanted to see how you handled yourself." Alex's stomach dropped. He knew it. He knew it the moment the knife flashed. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you survived where others didn't," Holt said. "And because someone out there is hunting soldiers like you." The tall one muttered, "We need to move, ma'am." Holt nodded. "Sergeant Rains, you can close the door and wait for them to come, or you can grab your boots and ride with us. Decision's yours." 10 seconds. Alex hesitated, then glanced at the duffel by his couch. The war was already knocking. Pretending otherwise was just lying to himself. He grabbed the duffel. "I'm in." The escape. They moved fast. Down the stairwell, out the back exit, into a nondescript SUV parked with the engine running. The broad-shouldered man drove, eyes flicking constantly to the mirrors. Holt slid into the passenger seat while Alex sat in back with the wiry soldier. "Where are we going?" Alex asked. "Safe house," Holt said. "We'll talk there." The SUV took a sharp corner. Alex noticed the driver pressed harder on the gas. "Problem?" he asked. "Tail," the driver said flatly. Alex twisted in his seat. Sure enough, a black sedan followed 3 cars behind, lights off but pace identical. "Civilians don't tail like that," Alex muttered. "No," Holt said. "They don't." "Then let me drive," Alex said. The driver glanced at Holt, then at Alex. Holt nodded once. They swapped seats at a rolling stop, fast and efficient. Alex slid behind the wheel, hands gripping with the kind of control that comes from convoys under fire. "Hold tight," he said. He floored it. The SUV roared down the dark road, tires biting hard into the asphalt. The black sedan sped up too, weaving through traffic with surgical aggression. Whoever they weren't amateurs. Wiry left window. Holt barked. The wiry soldier. Calloway. Alex caught the name from Holt, popped the side window, leaned out with a suppressed pistol. He fired 2 quick shots. The sedan swerved but didn't fall back. Armor plating, Calloway growled. Alex's mind raced. Civilian cars weren't built like that. Whoever wanted him had serious resources. Up ahead the road forked. Left led deeper into city grid. Right led toward the river. Alex made the call in half a second, riverside. Less traffic, more space to maneuver. He cut hard right, engine snarling. The sedan followed, relentless. Broad. Holt barked to the driver, now passenger. Trunk. The broad soldier, Foster, leaned back, yanked the SUV's rear hatch, pulled out a compact rifle. He slid it forward, chambered a round. Tell me when, he said. Alex gritted his teeth, pushing the SUV faster, faster. The sedan closed in, now barely a car length behind. Now. Holt snapped. Foster leaned out and opened fire. Controlled bursts, not panicked sprays. Sparks danced across the sedan's hood. Finally, one round found the tire. The sedan fishtailed, swerved, clipped a guardrail, then flipped, slamming onto its roof in a spray of sparks. The SUV roared away into the night. Silence filled the cabin except for heavy breathing. Holt turned, eyes on Alex. You still drive like a soldier. Alex didn't answer. He just kept driving. The safe house. The safe house was a warehouse on the edge of town, camouflaged as an old shipping business. Inside it was stripped bare but functional, cots, a table stacked with files, racks of weapons locked in cases. Alex dropped his duffel. Start talking. Holt didn't waste time. She pulled a file from the table, tossed it in front of him. Inside were photos, men and women in uniform. Different branches. All dead. Special operations veterans, Holt said. Found in accidents. Car wrecks, overdoses, suicides. But the patterns don't add up. These people didn't just die. They were removed. Alex flipped through the photos. His gut tightened when he recognized one. Sergeant Major Dean Harker. They'd served together in Kandahar. He was a rock, Alex said quietly. No way he ate his gun. Exactly, Holt said. And now they've circled to you. Why me? Because you're loud in the wrong way. You stop fights. You don't disappear. You survive places that should have killed you. Whatever they're doing, you don't fit their cleanup list. Alex leaned back, exhaling slowly. So what are you? A rescue team? Holt shook her head. We're ghosts. Off book. Even the Pentagon doesn't admit we exist. But we've been tracking this network for months and you just became our best lead. Calloway muttered, or our biggest liability. Alex glanced at him. I didn't ask for this. Neither did the rest, Calloway shot back. Holt cut him off. Enough. Rains, you have 2 options. Walk out now, pretend none of this happened, and you'll be dead within a week. Or stay with us and we hunt the bastards hunting you. Choice is yours. The room went quiet. Alex stared at the photos again. Dead faces. Soldiers who deserved better. His hand clenched into a fist. I'm in, he said. First mission. The next night Holt laid it out. Intel says they're running through a shell company, Southgate Logistics. On paper it's trucking contracts. In reality it's a cover for moving assets. And by assets I mean people. Where? Alex asked. Tonight? Portside Warehouse, Dock 14. We've got a 4-hour window before the cargo vanishes overseas. Our job? Grab proof, find out where it's going and get out clean. Rules of engagement? Alex asked. Silent if possible. Loud only if necessary. Alex nodded slowly. Copy that. Dock 14. The night smelled like salt and oil. Floodlights painted the docks in harsh yellow cones. Containers stacked 5 high, created shadowed alleys perfect for ambushes. Alex crouched behind a shipping crate with Calloway. Holt and Foster flanked opposite, covering the entry road. 2 guards walked lazy circles by the warehouse door. Not rent-a-cops. These men had the stance of contractors. Mercenaries? Alex whispered into comms. 2 at the door. Pattern loop every 30 seconds. Easy gap. Copy, Holt replied. On your go. Alex waited, counted breaths. When the guards' backs turned, he moved. Smooth, silent, steps measured. Calloway followed. One guard didn't even see him. Alex's arm snaked around his neck, hand clamping over the mouth, twisting just enough. The man slumped quietly. Calloway handled the second with a suppressed shot. They dragged the bodies into shadow. Inside the warehouse the air was colder. Rows of crates, forklifts parked idle, the hum of refrigeration units. And in the center, 2 trucks, engines idling, back doors closed. Alex's stomach twisted. He knew what was inside before they even opened it. Holt gave the signal. Foster moved to one truck, crowbar ready. With a sharp jerk, the door swung open. Inside, chained and gagged, were 3 men. Military haircuts. Dog tags still around their necks. Alive but beaten. "Jesus," Calloway whispered. One of the men lifted his head, eyes barely open. He croaked a single word. "Trap." That's when the lights snapped on. Dozens of armed men spilled out from the catwalks above, rifles aimed down. The warehouse erupted. Bullets tore into crates, splinters exploding like shrapnel. Alex dove behind a forklift, heart pounding, rifle up. Holt's voice cut through comms. "Contact. Contact. Move, move, move." Calloway shouted, "They were waiting for us." Alex chambered around, adrenaline flooding. The war zone had followed him home and there was no turning back. He muttered to himself, almost a prayer, almost a curse. "All right then. Let's see who's hunting who." And he broke cover, firing. Gunfire shredded the air. Alex Raines felt his ears ring as he hit the deck behind the forklift. Metal pinged, sparks spat, and the ground vibrated with the sheer volume of rounds. The ambush wasn't sloppy, this was trained fire. Coordinated. Whoever these men were, they weren't thugs with rifles, they were pros. "Calloway. Suppression now." Alex barked into the comms, his voice steady despite the chaos. "On it." Calloway leaned around a crate, rifle thundering in short bursts. Casings spilled like coins. The shooters on the catwalk above ducked, giving them a split second of breathing room. "Foster, flank right, cover Holt." Alex shouted. "Copy." Foster bolted, massive frame moving with surprising agility. His rifle hammered controlled bursts, pushing the attackers to reposition. Alex grabbed Holt by the arm. She'd already drawn 2 pistols, calm as a surgeon under fire. "We can't win standing here," he told her. Her eyes met his, sharp, focused. "Extraction plan?" "Through them," Alex said. Holt smirked despite the rain of bullets. "Figures. Fighting through." Alex popped from cover, firing 3 precise shots. One merc went down from the catwalk, body tumbling. He didn't linger, moved instantly, combat breathing keeping his focus sharp. Every decision mattered. Stay 1 second too long in the open and you were a corpse. Calloway left stairwell. Alex pointed. Calloway sprinted, sliding into cover, then clipped one merc trying to flank. Blood sprayed across the steel railing. Foster roared as he ripped through another with his rifle. Warehouse clear, ground level. But the catwalk still spat lead. Too high, too many angles. Alex's mind worked like a map overlay. Structures, exits, firing lanes. The forklifts, tall enough to block line of sight. Foster engine. Foster didn't hesitate. He vaulted onto the forklift, yanked the ignition, and the machine growled to life. He rammed it forward, pushing stacked crates like a steel shield. "Move with it," Alex shouted. The team advanced behind the makeshift cover, bullets clanging uselessly against steel. They reached the trucks. The 3 captured soldiers inside groaned weakly, eyes wide. Alex ripped the chains off one man's wrists. "Stay low, don't move unless I say." The man coughed blood. "They're not just mercs." "Who then?" Alex demanded. "Ex-military," the man wheezed. "Ours?" Alex's gut twisted. That explained the precision. They weren't just soldiers. They were American-trained killers, men who'd turned their skills into a private army. Holt's voice cut in sharp. "Incoming." The warehouse doors blew inward, a flash grenade blinding the dark. Alex turned his head instinctively, shielding the prisoner. When his vision cleared, new figures stormed in, heavier gear, night optics, helmets with built-in comms. These weren't just mercs. These were Tier 1 level operators. And they were hunting them. Escape or die. "Back exit now?" Alex barked. Foster shoved a crate, clearing the path. Holt laid down precise covering fire, her pistols snapping in rhythm like a metronome. Calloway grabbed one of the prisoners, dragging him to his feet. Alex grabbed the other 2, one over each shoulder, and moved like he was back in Helmand Province, carrying wounded under fire. His body screamed, but his mind went cold, efficient. Bullets chewed the walls as they broke through the rear of the warehouse. The night air hit like freedom, but only for a second. A black SUV screeched around the corner, headlights glaring, machine gun mounted on the roof. "Down?" Alex roared. The gunner opened fire, tracer rounds streaking like red death across the lot. The asphalt erupted with sparks. Holt dove behind a concrete barrier, Foster tackled Calloway and the prisoner, Alex rolled with the weight of the wounded. Options reigns? Holt shouted over the gunfire. Alex scanned. SUV in front, shooters behind. No clean escape. Unless... His eyes locked on a fuel truck parked 50 yards away. A risk. A big one. Foster mag-dumped the SUV. Alex ordered. Holt, cover me. What the hell are you doing? Holt yelled. Buying us a way out. Before she could argue, Alex sprinted low across open ground, bullets snapping past. He slid under the fuel truck, pulled a frag grenade from his vest. One tug of the pin, one prayer whispered through clenched teeth, he rolled it. The grenade slid under the SUV. Fire in the hole. Alex bellowed. The explosion ripped the night apart. The SUV lifted, flipped, fireball roaring. The gunner's scream vanished in the thunder. Move! Alex shouted. The team bolted through the smoke, dragging prisoners coughing from fumes. The chaos bought them 30 seconds. They reached their own SUV stashed in a container alley. Foster shoved everyone inside. Alex dove into the driver's seat. Hold on. Tires screamed as the SUV tore into the night. Debrief in motion. Inside the speeding vehicle, silence fell but for ragged breathing. The rescued soldiers slumped, barely conscious. Holt ripped open a med kit, working fast. Alex kept his eyes locked on the mirrors, heart still pounding. He couldn't shake the face of the men who attacked them, disciplined, tactical, efficient. Private contractors? Foster finally asked. No, Alex said coldly. Those weren't contractors. They were ours. Or they used to be. Holt looked up. Turned soldiers. Alex nodded grimly. Someone's paying ex-special ops to hunt down their own. Which means whoever's behind this isn't just cleaning house. They're recruiting. The thought sat heavy in the cabin. One of the rescued men stirred, voice rasping. They call it, the Black Rain. Everyone froze. Holt leaned in. What's that? The man coughed blood. Unit, built from shadows. No flag, no rules. Then he passed out. Alex's grip tightened on the wheel. The war wasn't just following him anymore. It was here, breeding inside his own country, wearing his own uniform. Temporary safe house. They holed up in another warehouse, this one colder, emptier, somewhere deep in the industrial outskirts. Holt's team laid out maps, photos, surveillance stills. The rescued soldiers were stabilized but unconscious. Alex leaned against the wall, sipping stale water. His mind replayed the ambush. Every angle had been covered. Every exit watched. They knew we were coming, he said finally. Holt didn't argue. Leak. Or surveillance. Either way, they had our playbook before we opened the door. Means you're compromised, Alex said. Means we're compromised now, Holt corrected, eyes sharp on him. The silence that followed was thick. Calloway finally muttered, So what's the move, ma'am? Holt tapped the map. Southgate Logistics is just a shell. But their trucks keep cycling to one hub, an airfield outside Fort Bragg. That's our next target. An airfield? Foster said. That's not a shell company. That's military infrastructure. Exactly, Holt said. Which means Black Rain isn't just ghosts. They've got roots in our system. Everyone glanced at Alex. He rubbed his face, exhaustion creeping in. You're telling me someone in our chain is using real bases, real resources, to run a kill squad? Holt's voice was flat. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Conflict in the team. Later, while Holt checked the rescued men, Calloway cornered Alex. You should have walked, Calloway said quietly. You're not part of this. You're just a liability. Alex's eyes narrowed. You think I didn't earn my seat at this table tonight? You're reckless. You charge fuel trucks with grenades. You run blind. Guys like you get teams killed. Alex stepped closer, voice low but sharp. And guys like me also get teams out. You think anyone else would have dragged your ass through that crossfire? Calloway's jaw tightened. For a second it looked like they'd throw punches. Then Holt's voice cut across the room. Enough. Both of you. Black Rain wants us fighting each other. Don't hand them the win. The tension hung heavy but Alex stepped back. Calloway turned away, muttering under his breath. Holt watched Alex for a moment longer than necessary. Then she said softer, Don't prove him right, Rains. Alex didn't answer. He just checked his rifle, hands moving with soldier precision. Outside the safe house, night settled heavy, the kind of silence before a storm. Alex stood alone by the SUV, staring at the horizon. The war wasn't out there anymore, it was inside his own soil, his own people. And every decision from here on out would cost blood. He whispered to himself, a grim reminder. This isn't survival anymore. This is war. And in the distance, the faint echo of rotor blades grew louder. Someone was already coming. The sound of rotor blades grew closer, chopping the night like knives through silence. Alex's reins froze, listening hard. He knew that rhythm, it wasn't civilian. Military. Chopper inbound. Alex barked as he rushed inside the safe house. Holt looked up from where she was checking the wounded men. Foster immediately grabbed his rifle. Calloway cursed. How the hell did they find us this fast? Foster growled. They've been on us since the docks, Holt said, cold and controlled. We're not shaking them, they're tracking us. Drones? Alex asked. Or transponders? Holt replied. Her gaze cut across the team. Check your gear. Now. Everyone stripped weapons, mags, comms. Foster ripped open a vest seam and pulled out a tiny black dot pulsing faint red. His face darkened. Goddamn tracker. Alex snatched it, crushed it under his boot. Too late. The helicopter was already circling low, its searchlight sweeping like a predator's eye. They're not landing, Calloway muttered, peeking out a cracked window. They're hovering. Alex's gut sank. He knew the tactic. He'd seen it overseas. Get away from the windows, he snapped. The first missile hit a second later. Firestorm. The blast ripped through the far side of the warehouse, fireball blooming like a furnace. The shockwave punched Alex backward into a steel support beam. Holt screamed for the team to move. Grab the wounded, she shouted. Foster scooped one man over his shoulder. Calloway dragged another by the arms. Holt pulled the third. Alex grabbed weapons, ammo, anything they couldn't leave behind. The second missile tore into the roof. Concrete and steel rained down, sparks and flames swallowing the safe house. Go, go, go. Alex yelled, herding them toward the SUV. Outside, the chopper's spotlight burned white, hunting them. Alex fired upward, rounds sparking harmlessly against its armored belly. Won't scratch it, Foster shouted. Not trying to scratch it, Alex growled. He squeezed off controlled bursts at the nose sensors. For a moment, the light flickered. The chopper wobbled, then steadied, gunfire erupting from its side-mounted minigun. They dove behind the SUV as rounds chewed asphalt, glass shattering. We're not outrunning that, Calloway shouted. Alex's brain raced. They couldn't fight air with rifles. But they could change the equation. His eyes locked on a construction crane 2 blocks over, looming high above the yard. New plan. Alex barked. Foster drive. Calloway, Holt, suppress fire. We take the streets, toward that crane. Are you out of your? Calloway started, but Holt cut him off. You heard him. Move. Urban chase. The SUV roared to life, tires squealing as Foster pushed it hard onto the street. The helicopter pivoted, spotlight sweeping, minigun rattling. Bullets stitched the pavement around them. Inside the cab, Alex held one of the wounded steady. His eyes scanned constantly, mapping routes like he used to lead convoys through ambush zones. Left, he barked. Foster yanked the wheel. The SUV skidded, clipped a trash bin but stayed upright. 2 blocks. Alex shouted. Crane's right there. The helicopter followed, relentless. Its pilot was good, anticipating turns, cutting angles. Calloway roof hatch. Holt snapped. Calloway popped the SUV's emergency hatch, leaned out with a rifle and poured rounds upward. The helicopter swerved, annoyed but not deterred. Alex's gaze locked on the crane's base. The operator's cabin sat high, cables hanging, counterweights stacked. His brain sparked with an insane idea. Foster straight to the crane. Ram the base. You serious? Foster shouted. Do it. The SUV smashed into the crane's lower frame. Metal shrieked, but the structure held. Out. Everyone out. Alex yelled. They dragged the wounded out, sprinting into the shadows of the crane. The helicopter swung overhead, searching. Plan B. Holt demanded. Alex's eyes flicked up the crane. We take it down. Calloway blinked. What? We drop the crane on the street. Block the chopper's line of sight. That'll bury us too. Not if we climb fast enough. Climb or die. The ladder rattled under Alex's boots as he climbed, every muscle burning. Foster followed behind, grunting with the weight of gear. Holt was right above Alex, steady, precise, her movements efficient even under chaos. Calloway cursed nonstop but climbed anyway. The helicopter circled, minigun rattling, chewing chunks out of the crane's metal frame. Sparks showered down. "Hurry!" Holt barked. They reached the operator's cabin. Alex smashed the glass, yanked the startled civilian operator out. "Sorry, buddy," he muttered, shoving him onto the ladder. He slid into the seat, eyes scanning the levers and controls. His hands hesitated. He wasn't a crane operator. He was a soldier. But war had taught him something: adapt or die. He jammed the throttle forward, pulling hard on the release lever. The crane groaned like a dying giant. The counterweight shifted. "Rains, it's not moving fast enough." Holt shouted over the roar. "Buy me 10 seconds. Calloway leaned out of the cabin, firing wildly at the helicopter. Foster ripped the mounted fire extinguisher off the wall and hurled it like a missile at the chopper's windshield. It clanged uselessly but forced the pilot to juke. Alex yanked every lever. The crane swayed, cables snapping. Then, with a tortured scream, the entire arm of the crane tipped. The street below vanished under a rain of steel. The helicopter swerved hard, but not hard enough. The crane's arm clipped its tail rotor. The chopper spun out, whirling like a drunk top. The pilot fought, but gravity won. It smashed into the street in a ball of flame. The shockwave rattled the crane under their feet. "Not stable," Holt shouted. "Climb down." Alex barked. They scrambled down the ladder as the crane leaned dangerously. By the time they hit the ground, the entire structure collapsed, sending sparks and smoke into the sky. They stumbled into an alley, coughing, bruised but alive. Aftermath. They regrouped in the ruins of an abandoned office building. The wounded men were unconscious, breathing shallow. The team looked like hell, burned, bloody, exhausted. Calloway slumped against a wall, glaring at Alex. "You're insane, you know that?" Alex sat opposite him, wiping blood from his brow. "Insane kept us breathing." Foster chuckled hoarsely. "I kinda like his crazy." Holt ignored them. She spread a map across the dusty floor, jabbing a point near Fort Bragg. "Airfield's still our next move. But after tonight, Black Rain knows exactly who we are. They'll double down." "They already doubled down," Alex said. His eyes were cold, distant. "They're not trying to stop us. They're trying to erase us." Silence hung heavy. Then Holt said quietly, "So we erase them first." Division. Later, when the others dozed in exhaustion, Alex sat alone at a broken window, watching smoke rise in the distance. Holt joined him, moving quietly. She leaned against the frame. "You don't sleep much, do you?" "Not when I know they're coming." She studied him for a long moment. "Calloway thinks you're reckless. Foster thinks you're a hero. I think," she trailed off. Alex turned his head. "What?" "I think you're a soldier who doesn't know what to be without a war." He didn't answer. She wasn't wrong. After a moment, she said, "If we don't make it out, would you want me to tell your family anything?" Alex's face hardened. "No family left. Just this." Holt's eyes softened, but she didn't push. She simply nodded and walked away. Alex stared at the horizon. Somewhere out there, Black Rain was already planning the next strike. And he knew, deep in his bones, this wouldn't end clean. In the darkness, one of the rescued soldiers stirred. His voice rasped, barely audible. "They're not done with you. None of you. Black Rain doesn't lose. They hunt." Then his head fell limp again. Alex looked back at Holt and the team, all trying to rest. He tightened his grip on his rifle. The hunt wasn't over. It was just beginning. And this time, Alex wasn't waiting for them to knock. The night was restless. Even the stars seemed to flicker uneasily over the wreckage of the collapsed crane. Smoke still lingered across the city, curling like ghosts. Alex Rain sat cross-legged with his rifle across his lap. He wasn't sleeping. He couldn't. Every time his eyes closed, he saw the Black Rain operators in the warehouse. American-trained soldiers turned predators. When Holt stepped into the room, he didn't look up. "You ever wonder," he said quietly, "if we're just fighting shadows?" She didn't answer right away. She knelt beside him, close enough that her voice carried softly. "Shadows don't bleed. And we made them bleed tonight." Alex finally turned, meeting her gaze. "Not enough. The intel." At dawn, Holt spread a map across the broken office table. Coffee cans served as weights. The team gathered, Foster bruised but steady, Calloway silent, nursing his pride, Alex coiled like a spring. "Here," Holt said, tapping a red mark near Fayetteville. "Civilian registry says it's an agricultural airstrip. But satellite shows military-grade hangars, perimeter fencing, and heavy traffic at night. Southgate trucks cycle in and out." Alex studied the layout. "If it's their hub, it won't be soft. They'll expect a frontal push. Which is why we don't give them one, Holt said. She slid another photo across. Grainy infrared, crates being loaded into AC-130. Men in black gear overseeing. They're moving personnel and equipment off books. We find Black Rain's heart. Foster frowned. You're saying sneak in, grab intel, sneak out? Exactly. Alex shook his head. Won't work. You saw the warehouse. This isn't Rent-A-Guards. They'll run the airfield like a FOB. Full coverage. You walk in soft, you don't walk out. Then what's your plan? Calloway challenged, his tone edged. Alex's eyes narrowed. We don't sneak in. We hit them like thunder and make them believe we're more than 4 soldiers and 3 half-dead vets. Confusion buys us the window. Calloway scoffed. Reckless. Holt cut in firm. Necessary. We don't have numbers. We need impact. Rains is right. Shock is our best ally. The table went quiet. Even Calloway stopped glaring. All right, Holt said finally. We do it Rain's way. The preparation. The day was spent scavenging. Foster raided a scrapyard for fuel drums and welding tools. Calloway stripped old vehicles for wiring. Alex improvised explosives from fertilizers and fuel, his hands steady, his focus chilling. As he worked, Holt approached quietly. You've done this before. Alex didn't look up. Convoy raids. Kandahar. Al-Qaeda liked ambushes, we liked sending fire back. Simple math. Her eyes lingered. And when the math didn't work? Alex pressed the detonator test switch. The light blinked green. Then we carried our dead. Holt didn't speak again. By sunset they had a crude arsenal. Pipe bombs, Molotovs, 2 scoped rifles, and 1 battered RPG Foster had miraculously pulled from a collector's stash. Calloway muttered, You're out of your damn mind if you think this holds against Tier 1 operators. Alex cleaned his rifle calmly. I don't need it to hold. I need it to scare. Fear's a weapon too. The approach. Night fell heavy and humid. The team moved across fields toward the airstrip, their silhouettes low against the grass. Alex scanned constantly, perimeter lights, guard towers, patrols. Everything about the layout screamed military precision. He muttered into comms, they've got a QRF rotation. 1 squad north, 1 east. 2-minute response window. Copy, Holt replied. We hit the hangars, grab proof, then exfil west. Keep it clean. Clean went out the window with the chopper, Alex said. Then he moved. Thunder at the fence. They reached the outer fence. Foster clipped the wires, Holt jammed the sensors with a handheld disruptor. Alex crawled through first, rifle raised, every nerve taut. 2 guards patrolled near the hangars. Alex signaled and Calloway put them down with suppressed shots. Quick, efficient. Then Alex planted the first charge. Surprise package set. On my mark, the night gets loud. They crept closer to the hangars. Inside, voices echoed, men shouting over cargo, forklifts rumbling. Alex peeked through a side window. Black Rain operators. A dozen, maybe more. Stacking crates stamped with U.S. Army property tags. His chest tightened. They're stealing from our own. He whispered into comms, visual confirmed. Equipment's ours. Stolen. Grab proof then burn it, Holt ordered. Alex smiled grimly. With pleasure. He detonated the charge. Chaos unleashed. The night ripped open. Fire roared as the fuel drum exploded, lighting the hangar sky orange. Alarm screamed. Black Rain operatives scrambled, weapons raised, shouting orders. Alex led the team through the side door, rifle blazing. 2 mercs dropped before they knew where fire came from. Holt slid left, her pistols cracking in rhythm. Foster barreled forward like a tank, his rifle chewing through cover. Calloway grabbed a laptop from a desk, slinging it over his back. Got their comms hub. Move. Alex shouted. Bullets shattered crates around them. 1 operative tackled Alex, knife flashing. They grappled hard, the blade inches from Alex's throat. Alex slammed his head forward, broke the man's nose, ripped the knife free and buried it in his chest. Stay down, Alex growled, yanking his rifle back up. Second wave inbound. Holt barked, pointing to the hangar doors. Black Rain squads stormed in with night vision helmets, moving in perfect formation. Alex's blood chilled. These aren't mercs. They're trained like SEALs. Smoke out. Foster hurled canisters. The hangar filled with choking gray. Muzzle flashes strobed in the haze. Alex grabbed Calloway by the collar. We've got the laptop. Exfil now. Not yet. Calloway shouted. I can crack this. A bullet grazed his shoulder. he screamed, clutching the wound. Now! Alex roared. They smashed through a side door into the open night. The gauntlet. The airstrip lit up with floodlights. Sirens wailed. Trucks roared to life, headlights cutting the field. They're locking the perimeter. Holt shouted. Then we break it, Alex said. He pulled the RPG onto his shoulder, sighted the nearest gate checkpoint and fired. The rocket screamed, then blew the barrier apart in a wall of flame. Go, go, go. They sprinted across the field, dragging Calloway, hauling the laptop, smoke and gunfire chasing their heels. Black Rain operators shouted behind them, bullets stitching the grass. Foster returned fire, booming laughter in his throat. Come on, you bastards. A truck roared in from the left, mounted gun swiveling. Alex Dove rolled, came up firing. His rounds punched the gunner back into the cab. The truck swerved, flipped, exploded. They broke through the ruined gate, gasping, lungs on fire. Vehicles. Holt pointed. 2 abandoned Humvees sat near a service shed. They piled in. Foster slammed the ignition. The engine coughed, then roared. Black Rain gave chase in SUVs, headlights slashing the dark. The chase. The Humvee tore down a dirt road, engine straining. Behind them, SUVs closed fast. Gunfire rattled. A round punched through the rear window, shattering glass. Alex leaned out the side, rifle snapping. He dropped one driver, the SUV flipping end over end. But more followed. They're not stopping. Calloway shouted, clutching his bleeding shoulder. They don't have to, Alex growled. They just have to bleed us out. Up ahead, the road split. Forest trail left, bridge right. Bridge. Holt ordered. No, Alex snapped. Forest. Bridge is a kill zone. Foster didn't hesitate. He yanked the wheel left, Humvee bouncing hard onto the trail. Branches whipped the windows. The SUVs followed, but the trees choked their speed. Keep pushing. Alex barked. The Humvee barreled through mud, rocks, branches snapping. Behind them, one SUV clipped a tree, flipping violently. Another swerved but stayed on their tail. Hold steady, Alex shouted. He leaned out the rear hatch, took careful aim, squeezed. His round pierced the pursuer's radiator. Steam erupted. The SUV slowed, then stalled. Clear. Holt confirmed. The forest swallowed them in darkness. Defied. They finally stopped miles deep, engine smoking, everyone gasping for breath. Holt ripped the laptop open, fingers flying. The screen lit with encrypted files, mission logs, comms. Talk to me, Alex demanded. Her eyes narrowed as she scrolled. They're not just rogue operators. They've got a funding pipeline. Contracts. Overseas supply lines. Someone high up is feeding them. Names? Alex pressed. She paused. Then looked up, eyes grim. One name keeps repeating. Colonel Harris. Silence. Alex froze. The same Harris who'd called him after the diner. The same man who had warned him. Foster swore under his breath. Calloway looked pale. He set us up, Holt said flatly. Alex's jaw tightened. He remembered Harris's calm voice on the phone. We need to talk. He slammed his fist against the Humvee's frame. That son of a bitch played us. The forest was quiet except for the hum of the laptop. Harris's name glowed on the screen like a curse. Alex sat back, rage simmering. His mentor, his ally, turned out to be the architect of Black Rain. He whispered, cold and deadly. Next mission isn't recon. Next mission is Harris. And in the distance, faintly, another rotor beat echoed. The hunt was far from over. The name glared back at them from the cracked laptop screen. Colonel Harris. Alex Rain stared at it until the letters blurred. He had followed Harris into more firefights than he could count. The man had been his CO, his compass, the one steady voice in the chaos of war. Now he was the ghost pulling Black Rain strings. Foster broke the silence first, his deep voice edged with fury. Tell me this is a mistake. Some hacker putting his name in the system to throw us off. Holt shook her head, face grim. It's not a mistake. The logs match. Harris signed off on shipments, rerouted comms, authorized transfers to Southgate Logistics. He built the pipeline. Black Rain is his army. Calloway spat blood into the dirt, clutching his wounded shoulder. Son of a bitch has been feeding us crumbs while fattening the wolves. Alex's jaw clenched. His whole body felt like a live wire. He didn't just feed them. He fed me. Foster frowned. What do you mean? Alex's eyes darkened. The night at the diner, he called me. He knew I'd get dragged into this. He didn't warn me. He set me. The words tasted like ash. He had been used. Holt studied him carefully. Then Harris knows you're alive. And he knows you've got his name now. The implication hung heavy. Harris wouldn't stop until they were dead. Alex slung his rifle over his shoulder. Then we stop him first. The decision. They camped deep in the Carolina forest, Humvee hidden under branches, laptop glowing in the dark. Holt tapped keys, scanning through comm logs. Harris is moving tonight, she said. Encrypted orders, destination Fort Bragg. Midnight convoy. Black Rain's brass is consolidating. Foster leaned forward. Convoy means target. We intercept, we cut off the head. Calloway grimaced. We're 4 bodies and 3 busted vets. Harris has a platoon of mercs with military training. That's not an intercept, it's suicide. Alex's gaze hardened. We don't need to kill them all. We just need Harris. Holt raised a brow. Capture or kill? Alex didn't blink. Kill. He doesn't get a trial. He built this. He'll bury it before anyone touches him. The silence that followed was suffocating. Soldiers weren't supposed to make execution calls. But everyone in the room knew Alex was right. Finally Holt nodded. Then we do it clean. Ambush the convoy before they reach base. 1 strike. 1 shot. The setup. They moved fast, scavenging mines and fuel from abandoned depots, rigging roadside bombs from fertilizer and stolen wires. Alex mapped the kill zone like he'd done in Afghanistan. Angles, choke points, fallback routes. As they worked, Holt studied him. You've done this before. Alex's hands never stopped moving. Dozens of times. Ambush was their language. We learned to speak it better. Difference is, Holt said softly, this time the enemy's speaking your language too. Alex finally looked at her. Then I'll shout louder. By sunset they had set the trap. Fuel drums buried under dirt, C4 laced along a choke bridge, rifles positioned high on a ridge. Foster slapped Alex's shoulder. Hell of a kill box. Harris won't know what hit him. Alex just nodded, eyes fixed on the empty road. The convoy. At midnight, headlights pierced the darkness. Engines growled as 3 SUVs and 2 trucks rolled down the road, Black Rain's convoy moving tight, disciplined. Alex lay prone on the ridge, rifle steady, breath slow. Through the scope he saw Harris, grayer hair, same iron jaw, riding shotgun in the lead SUV. Calm. Confident. Untouchable. Rage burned through Alex's chest. Stand by, Holt whispered through comms. The convoy rolled into the kill zone. Now, Alex said. Foster triggered the first charge. The road erupted in fire, flipping the rear truck in a rolling inferno. Men spilled out, shouting, firing blindly into the treeline. Holt and Calloway opened fire from cover, rounds tearing through the chaos. Foster's machine gun roared, chewing the night. Alex's scope locked on Harris. He exhaled, finger tightening. Then Harris looked up, straight at him, and smiled. Alex's gut twisted. Trap. Before he could fire, the ridge beneath him exploded. Charges buried under the dirt. Alex flew backward, ears ringing, dust choking his lungs. The counter-ambush. Figures poured from the woods, Black Rain moving with surgical precision. They had known. Harris had baited them. Foster roared, mowing down 2 operators before rounds slammed into his chest plate. He staggered but held. Calloway screamed as a bullet ripped his thigh. Holt dragged him behind cover, pistol spitting. Alex scrambled to his feet, firing into shadows. He dropped 1 then 2. But they just kept coming, silent, coordinated, unshaken by chaos. Through the smoke, Harris stepped calmly from the SUV, flanked by armored guards. His voice cut through the battle. Rains, he called. Still fighting other people's wars for them? Alex's blood boiled. He fired, but a guard shoved Harris aside, taking the round through the throat. Harris never flinched. You think you're righteous, Harris said, voice steady even under fire. But you're just another dog who needs a leash. Better a dog than a traitor. Alex roared, emptying his mag. Grenades thumped, explosions forcing Alex back down the ridge. He grabbed Foster by the arm, dragging him as bullets shredded trees around them. Holt covered their retreat, precise shots snapping helmets. Fall back. Alex shouted. The team broke into the woods, Harris's laughter echoing after them. The retreat. They ran until lungs burned, collapsing in a creek bed miles from the kill zone. Blood dripped from Calloway's leg, Foster wheezed with bruised ribs, Holt's face was streaked with soot. Alex paced like a caged animal, rifle tight in his fists. He knew. He knew every move. He buried charges under my firing position. He baited us, Holt said grimly. Fed the laptop trail, let us follow the crumbs. He wanted this fight. Foster groaned. Then why not finish it? He had us boxed. Because he doesn't want us dead yet, Holt said, eyes narrowing. He wants reins broken. He wants you to see him win. Alex's chest heaved. His entire world tilted on its axis. Harris wasn't just an enemy, he was a hunter and Alex was his prey. No, Alex growled, voice low and lethal. He wants a war. I'll give him one. The fracture. By dawn the team was unraveling. Calloway sat pale and shaking, muttering. We can't beat him. We're ghosts chasing a machine. He's always 2 steps ahead. Foster snapped. Shut your mouth. We've come this far. Far? Calloway barked. We're bleeding out in the woods, hunted by our own. We're dead men walking. Alex grabbed him by the vest, shoving him against a tree. You want to quit? Do it on your own time. Harris dies or we don't. Calloway's eyes burned with fear and fury. You're gonna drag us all down with your vendetta. Alex's fist twitched, but Holt's hand caught his wrist. Enough. Her voice was cold steel. We can't fracture now. Harris wins if we do. Alex released Calloway, stepping back. His chest heaved with rage. Holt's eyes held his, unwavering. You want Harris dead? Fine. But you don't get to burn us to do it. The revelation. Later, Holt dug deeper into the stolen laptop. The file she unearthed made her go pale. Rains? She said quietly. He crouched beside her. What is it? She turned the screen. Lines of orders, contracts, black budgets. And one phrase repeated across multiple files. Operation Phoenix Vale. Alex's brow furrowed. What the hell is that? Some kind of contingency plan, Holt said. But it's bigger than Black Rain. This is global. Names of bases, supply chains overseas, covert ops stretching from Africa to Eastern Europe. Foster leaned in, eyes wide. Jesus Christ. Black Rain isn't just rogue. They're building a shadow army. And Harris is the architect, Alex finished, voice flat. The realization hit like a hammer. This wasn't about stolen crates or a rogue colonel. This was systemic. If Phoenix Vale went live, Harris would have a private army that could topple governments. Holt's voice was low. We don't just kill Harris. We burn Phoenix Vale. The team sat in silence, the weight of the revelation crushing. The creek bubbled softly, a cruel contrast to the storm building in their minds. Alex finally stood, rifle slung over his shoulder, eyes burning with fury and clarity. No more running. No more ambushes. We take this to the source. Where's the source? Foster asked. Holt pointed at the screen. Bragg. The files say Harris is consolidating there. Phoenix Vale activates in 72 hours. Alex tightened his grip on the rifle. Then 72 hours is all we've got. He looked at the team, bloodied, battered, but still standing. We hit Bragg. We hit Harris. And we end this. Above them, a hawk circled in the gray sky, its cry sharp and lonely. The war wasn't ending. It was about to explode. Fort Bragg loomed like a beast in the night. Floodlights cut across the compound, razor wire gleamed silver, and patrols stalked every corner with rifles ready. This wasn't the Bragg Alex Rains had once called home. It was a fortress, Harris's fortress. Alex lay belly down on the ridge, watching through his scope. His jaw was locked tight, every nerve burning. Holt whispered through comms, intel confirms, Harris is inside command hangar 2. Phoenix Vale goes operational at dawn. This is our one window. Foster adjusted his heavy pack of charges, sweat dripping despite the cool air. How many inside? Too many, Holt replied. Calloway gritted his teeth, bandaged leg trembling as he checked his rifle. Then we don't walk out. Alex finally spoke, voice low and hard. We don't walk out unless Harris goes down. That's the mission. The others nodded. No speeches. No promises. Just understanding. Infiltration. They moved at midnight, ghosts slipping through shadows. Foster cut the fence, Holt jammed comms, Calloway dragged himself but didn't falter. Alex led, rifle steady, every step precise. The compound hummed with activity, trucks idling, men in black gear loading crates. Inside Hangar 2, floodlights bathed rows of aircraft. C-130 sat like hulking predators, their bellies swollen with crates stamped Phoenix Vale. Through the open doors Alex saw him, Colonel Harris. Crisp uniform. Calm posture. Giving orders like a general before battle. Rage clawed Alex's chest. His scope centered on Harris's head. He could end it here. One shot. Cling. But Harris looked up, straight into the darkness. As if he knew. As if he felt Alex there. And he smiled. Alex's finger froze on the trigger. Holt's whisper cut in. Not yet. We need the files. Proof. We burned Phoenix Vale, not just Harris. Alex's teeth ground. He lowered the scope. The breach. They slipped into a side office attached to the hangar. Holt cracked the lock. Calloway staggered in and dropped the laptop on a desk. Fingers flew. Got into their intranet, Holt muttered. Transferring Phoenix Vale files. Locations, assets, funding. Enough to bury them. Outside boots echoed. Black Rain patrol sweeping close. Alex pressed against the wall, rifle ready. Make it fast. 5 minutes. Don't have 5. The door burst open. 2 operatives stormed in. Alex dropped both with clean shots, but the noise echoed like a death knell. Sirens wailed. All units, converge on Sector 4. A voice barked over loudspeakers. Foster slammed a charge onto the office wall. We're out of time. Do it. Alex barked. The wall blew outward, showering them in smoke and debris. They spilled into the hangar, alarms screaming, floodlights flashing. Black Rain came for them like a tidal wave. The firefight. The hangar became hell. Foster's machine gun ripped through crates and men alike, sparks flying. Holt's pistols cracked in sharp rhythm, dropping operators one after another. Calloway, pale and bleeding, braced himself against a crate and fired with grim determination. Alex was a storm. He moved with deadly precision, every shot counted, every step lethal. He wasn't fighting men anymore, he was cutting down shadows of betrayal. Harris stood at the far end, untouched, watching calmly as his army closed in. Rains, his voice boomed. You never understood. Nations don't win wars anymore. Men do. Phoenix Vale is the future. Not if I burn it down. Alex roared, dropping another operator with a headshot. Grenades rolled across the floor. Foster kicked one back, the blast shredding a fuel tank. Flames roared, smoke choking the hangar. Through the inferno, Harris vanished into the command office above. Alex's heart pounded. Halt, Foster. Hold them off. I'm taking Harris. Rains, wait. Holt shouted. But he was already moving. The confrontation. Alex stormed up the metal stairs 2 at a time, boots pounding, rifle ready. He kicked the door open. Empty. Only flickering monitors, files scattered, Phoenix Vale logos glowing on screens. Then a voice behind him, still charging ahead. Still predictable. Alex spun. Harris stepped from the shadows, pistol leveled. Come. Controlled. Like he'd been waiting years for this moment. Drop it, Alex, Harris said. You won't shoot me. Alex's finger tightened. Try me. Harris smirked. You're a soldier, Rains. You follow orders. Even now you can't break that chain. You want to kill me, but you need me to deserve it. You sold us out. You built this war. I built survival, Harris snapped, eyes blazing. America is weak. Governments fail. But warriors endure. Phoenix Vale ensures our kind never fades. Men like you should thank me. Alex's rage boiled over. You turned brothers into mercenaries. You killed your own. They weren't mine anymore, Harris said coldly. They chose to be forgotten. I gave them purpose. Alex stepped closer, barrel aimed at Harris's heart. You gave them chains. For the first time, Harris's composure cracked. His jaw tightened, his pistol steadied. If you pull that trigger, you prove me right. Just another killer, no nation, no cause. A dog off the leash. Alex's chest heaved. Harris's words dug deep. But then he remembered Holt's steady eyes, Foster's laughter in the firefight, Calloway bleeding but still firing. They weren't dogs. They were soldiers. Still standing. Alex's voice was low, final. No. We're not your soldiers anymore. He fired. The round slammed into Harris's chest. The colonel staggered, eyes wide in shock, blood blooming across his uniform. He fell against the desk, gasping. You killed more than me, Harris rasped. Phoenix Vale won't die with me. It's bigger. Global. You'll never stop it. His eyes rolled back. His body went still. Alex stood over him, rifle trembling in his grip. For the first time in years he felt both lighter and heavier all at once. The collapse. Down below the battle raged. Foster's machine gun finally went silent, empty. Holt was dragging Calloway toward cover, blood soaking her shoulder from a fresh wound. Alex burst from the office, shouting, Harris is down. Pull back. Foster grinned through blood. About damn time. Holt's eyes met Alex's, sharp even through exhaustion. Did you get proof? Alex held up a flash drive yanked from Harris's desk. Phoenix Vale's files. Enough to bury the bastards. Then we move. Holt barked. They fought their way to the far side of the hangar, Foster blowing the doors open with his last charge. Alarms screamed, flames spread, aircraft burned like pyres. The team staggered into the night, chased by shadows but refusing to fall. The escape. They hijacked a fuel truck, Foster driving like a madman through the compound gates. Bullets chewed the metal, sparks flying, but the engine roared on. Behind them, Hangar 2 collapsed in flames, Phoenix Vale's heart burning. Alex leaned out the side window, firing at pursuers until his rifle clicked empty. Holt slammed a fresh mag into his hands without a word. Calloway, pale but conscious, croaked, "Did we win?" Alex didn't answer. The ending. They finally stopped miles away, trucks sputtering, dawn breaking over the horizon. Smoke still rose from Fort Bragg in the distance. The team sat in silence, broken, bloodied, but alive. Holt clutched the flash drive in her hand. If this gets to the right people, Phoenix Vale's finished. Alex stared at the horizon, jaw tight. Harris was right about one thing. Phoenix Vale is bigger than him. We cut one head off the snake. Foster chuckled grimly. Then we keep cutting. Calloway coughed weakly. And if there's no end to the heads? Alex finally looked at them, eyes burning with quiet fire. Then we don't stop swinging. The wind rustled the trees. The world felt both saved and doomed at once. As the sun rose, Alex shouldered his rifle. He had killed Harris, burned Bragg, destroyed Phoenix Vale's nest. But in his gut he knew, Harris hadn't been lying. Somewhere Phoenix Vale was still alive. Waiting. Growing. Alex's voice was steady, almost calm. This war isn't over. And as dawn bathed the broken team in light, the shadows of the next battle stretched long across the ground. The end.